Hi everyone, thanks for watching this video. Today's class is to demonstrate the process of using Open API to get data from supOS platform for third-party applications. So to do that, we need to go through 3 steps like this. The first step is to get authorization on supOS platform and then use the authorization to calculate a signature with the code that we will provide. And the last step is to use the signature that we have calculated through the algorithm to call Open API so that we can get data from supOS platform. Okay, so first of all, we need to log into our supOS platform, and then inside the Design Center, under System Management, System Configuration, here, AKSK credential. You can click this new to create a new AKSK authorization. This ID could be anything. And then click OK. Here on the pop-up window, you have to click this download, because if you cancel this, you will have nowhere to download the AKSK credential. Okay, so click download. Okay, inside this CSV file, you can see here, the secret ID is the AK and the secret key is the SK that we need. Okay, after that, the second step is to, is to calculate the signature. So we have the code here, and we have provided 2 versions of code that you can use to get the signature. The first one is Node.js version. So let's open our IDE. I'm using VS Code. So inside it, you can create a new folder and then create a JS file to copy and paste this Node.js code here. Just copy it, and then inside here, I named it hosted, okay? And then you just paste it here, and then what you need to change is the AKSK information. And so you can go to your AKSK file and just copy and paste those 2 strings here, respectively, right? And then the supOS, this is the address of supOS platform, and this is what I have, and you can just enter the address of your supOS platform. Just remember that the AKSK file must be obtained from this address, so to match, okay? And then there's nothing you need to change. After that, now remember, with this one file, you will not be able to get the signature, because the signature requires information like AKSK, supOS address, and also the information of Open API, which you need to create another JS file to paste the code on our official site here. Calling API to get data. Node.js version, you just copy it and paste it on this, I have named it example, on this file. In this example file, what you need to change is the Open API URI and the method name and the query JSON. So this query, this part actually is the query parameters you need to enter. So to get the information of that, you need to go to our official site under API. So what API I used here? Let's just take it as an example. Okay, this one. So this is the path code and then query parameters. You can see here there are like this many parameters that you need to enter, but for easy use, and it's an example, so I only used 2 required parameters. Okay, so page index and the page size. So as you can see here, page index means the page number for the first page, and page size means how many data can be contained on one page. So I just set it to 20. Okay, and then the content type, it's just the same. You just leave it as default. And then after that, what you can do is to try to get the data, call the API to get the data from supOS platform. So make sure you're inside the right folder, right? And then You can see here that we have required this request promise library and module, I mean node module. And here this crypto is already embedded in Node.js, so that's taken care of. And this request promise, you have to make sure that you have it in your node modules. If not, you need to install it, okay? I have already installed it. So what I can do now is to run the code example. Okay, here, as you can see, this is the signature I get. See, signature source, and here. And then this is the signature we get from the algorithm, okay? And then this is the response, which is the result. You can see this code, this means okay. Okay, so if you want to get specific data, you can do it on one of the API debugger. And I'm using Apipost here. So here you can click this plus button to start a new API, and then you choose the request method, which is get from this one, right? This is a get request, and then you just enter the full URL of this API here. It is consisted of the address of supOS platform and the Open API URI till here. Okay, and then under here you need to enter the parameters that is necessary for us to get the data from supOS platform. Okay, so this is a header. So the header contains two necessary parameters, which is authorization and content type. This authorization is the signature we need, is the signature we get from here. The sign thing, you just copy and paste it here. And then the second one is content type. Content type is the data here, header JSON. You must make them match because the sign is get from those information, okay? Otherwise the sign wouldn't match, the signature wouldn't match. Okay, so you have finished this header, and then this query parameters. This is the necessary query parameters corresponds to this specific Open API. You see here I made it to page index 1 and page size 20, and as I have said before, you have to make all this information match, otherwise you won't get the right results, right? And here, let's see if we make it to 200, which is not the same as the page size we used in the code. Let's see the result, shall we? See here, unknown service, right? But if we change it back to 20, now you can get the right results. See, it's 20, it's okay. And these are the information of the instances under the template sales that I have created in my platform, okay? Okay, so that's one. We used Node.js here. Let's go back here. We use the Node.js version of code to get the instance data from our supOS platform, right? So the next thing is that we want to try another version of code to get the data from a different Open API, which is we use in Python, and we want to use a different request. Let's see. In my example, I used, let me see. I try to execute the embedded service of supOS platform, which is get property value. So how do we do that? Okay, the first thing is, of course, the same thing is that you need to get the AKSK file from supOS platform. And since we have already get one, so we're going to use that for this example too. So what we need to do is to copy this Python version of algorithm to get the signature and put it to PyCharm. I just use this file, okay? And there are some Chinese. This means supOS address here. You just enter the information here, and this means that you get AK from your environment, and this is to get SK from environment. And now you can get AKSK in priority from your environment, which is your supOS platform. This is AK and this is SK. Just enter them there. And other things you don't need to change. Just keep them as default. And then here, the second code file, which is the calling code here, Python version, right? You just copy and paste it in a different file here. So inside this file, what you need to change is the params. This param is also query parameters. Let's see what our query parameters would be for this Open API. Let me find that Open API first. Let me check what that is. Service. Okay, in our official site under API, Open API, I'm thinking execute the service should be funny. Running functions here, execute entity instance service. So this is the path code of this API. You just copy and paste it here without the supOS address. And then here you need to change, let me make it bigger. You need to change the information such as the template namespace and template name, and then this instance. Actually, this is the template alias, and then this is the instance alias and the service namespace and the service alias. So we use a get property value. This is an embedded service in our supOS platform, as you can see here. Let me show you instance here. See, instance 3. So let me show you its embedded service. Get property value. Get property value here. This one. Okay, so back here you get the passcode, and here this is the request example code. So this is our like query parameters you need to enter. So in here, sorry, you just change the params to the information you need, which is this one. So this is a property name, and this is the property alias. So here, property name. So if you're not sure about this one, you need to go to supOS platform and check the service and see the input parameters. That is the property namespace and the property alias, right? That's why we have give it a property namespace and a property name, alias, I meant. Okay, then after that, what you need to do is to directly run this file. Okay, so here, as you can see that you have obtained the signature source content, and here, this is the signature you get, right? And let's try this one, shall we? Let me see, I'm still gonna do it on API post. Is this one? Yeah, this is the one I have used. So again, the address here, right? The whole thing. And the header, also the same content type and authorization. The authorization would be the signature you get from your PyCharm here. And then this query parameter is nothing, because post requested your query parameters is actually in the request body, right? So here, the body is the parameters you have entered here. See, prop name, this one. Just copy and paste it here. Same thing, right? And make sure it's raw, because the accepted parameter format on the backend is JSON, application JSON, so you have to make it raw. And then let me see, that's basically all the parameters we need. And then click, make sure that the request method is post, and then send. Okay, see here, you have obtained the result of this property. Okay, so that's basically the whole process of getting data from supOS platform through Open API for third-party applications. That's it. Thank you for watching.